let's wait for a few more minutes. I will see if other students join the meeting. Then I will start the class for today. Okay, so let's start our class for today. In a previous like the build today's the week 8, and then a previous like several weeks. So I do cover we using the Happy.js to build the API server, and then we try to connect to a MongoDB. How can we fetch the data and try to add it or like get it. So one thing in the previous assignment, maybe you will see, okay, I will ask if you are able, then you can add to get a parameter, but you'll not really say, okay, I don't know to handle it. But for today, after you get the whole picture of how the server, how it works. So if right now, hopefully after you work on the first 2 assignments, then you know how the API server is actually like working. Then we need to like dive deeper how to like really implement like for something handling the parameters. So right here we have 2 main type of parameters we can use for our route. So one is called the path parameters. So this one will be like part of your URL path. So we would define with the curly bracket, this one. And then we have another one, they are part of our URL query string. So we are typically use the like filter or the paginate result. That's what we're going to do. So you will see the example right here. Okay, so when we start with the path parameters, so the path parameter we are using when we want to like capture specific segments of the URL. So when we to define and use it, so mainly we just like put it. So we put the curly bracket right here. So this one is the parameter. So if you remember after you did the assignment of you look or if you look at the example code, you'll see. So it's the structure is always the same. So we have the route, we have the method get. So for get, we always like passing with the path with the ID. And then we have the handler, we have like the request and header. So right here, you will see we have the constant. So we declare using the constant and then create a variable called user ID. Maybe properly we'll send it the user ID with the just then get method, pass as parameter. So we always pass it, here's the notation will be like request is from here. And then the params. So this one is the parameter it's going to pass. And this one dot will be based on the parameter we pass to our server. So we'll see right here. So it pass dot. So this one will be depends on the name you declare. So they should be matched together. Okay. So if you put ID will be ID, if you put username is username, and then if you put any other information, let's say you have a book, like I have a book ID or like I have a book name, author. If there's a product name or like the I need some like serial number, then you can do it. Okay. And then suppose like for the first assignment, not with these requests, you say you have to connect to the because you see I asked you to create 3 paths, like one like get and then 3 for post. Maybe you're not know how to handle with the pass ID and pass it to your MongoDB filter. So if you not able to do that, actually you're allowed to just like return it or like telling you, okay, it works. But if you are study a little bit how to pass the filter to the MongoDB, then of course you can do that. Okay. And another format will be repassing as the query. So this one will be, you will see the path like this will be same like user, but this time I'm not using the curly bracket ID. So when we change it, it's not accessed by the params, but also this one we change to request.query. So this one will be age, name, and then when we pass it, then this one will receive the name. So we will pass it as a curly bracket right here. We'll get the items. And then we will able to retrieve these 2 variables from the query parameters. So the format will be like this one. Then how can we use this query? So let's say we send a get, right? So we can use the user and then put the question mark and then declare with the name equals to John or age equals to 30. So this one will pass to the query parameter. If you sometimes pay attention to the website, or sometimes when you browse it, have you ever like very if you know right here, so you will see, let's say we have our website right here, you can see the path. And then if let's say I press the assignment right here, so you will see, okay, folder like an underscore manage.d2 and then d2l question mark. OU will be like 165305. You can see the question mark. So this one we're passing by the query. So if we are passing by the ID, then we will do it in this way. Let's say I doing the slash, then this one I will handle it by the ID. So sometimes when you pay more attention to the URL and observe it, you will see, okay, they are different type. They have different benefits or disadvantage, like for the security level. So Sometimes for not so important or some general information, let's say the ID, maybe it won't affect that much, then we can pass in through the URL. Or let's say the name or age, this is not really sensitive data, we can pass it. But sometimes when we are passing it, then we need to passing with the like using body. So right here, we will move on. We'll see, okay, when we say we have path using the parameter also have query, then can we pass them together, like combine them together? Yes, you can. So we just, you can see we have the parameter ID right here will be the same. So just remember when we pass it through the URL with the parameter, then just try to get the parameter ID. And then if we are passing through the query, then just get from the query. Okay. And then we send so that data, so right. Then say, then how can I send it or like post it through the URL? Because when we are learning cloud computing or handle connecting to our cloud server, we are not only building it, but also we need to provide documents and telling how can we access those paths, right? Then what are you going to do is really similar. So first one is the ID. So the curly bracket, so you can use the slash and then 123. And then if you need to pass with the query, just like add the question mark, and then you have to match with the your query's the name. So let's say this one is the include details, and then I need to make sure include details it matches, and then it equals to true. So true like this, then we can return it. And the response will be 1 to 3, and then include details like this. Okay, so you see right here. So it's a true or false, right, condition. And I already upload a zip code to the zipped file. So I attach all of them to you. So it's a zipped, this is called a code. So I will give you all the source code, the example. So I will execute one of it so you can test it right here. For the local, sometimes if you want to test, let's say running on your AW EC2 server, or sometimes if you want to check if it is like working locally, you can do that. So once you install Node JS on your laptop, also if you make sure you have your npm, so you can just create a folder and then you can just install the Node package that depends on the package we are using. And I already installed it, so I can try to execute it. So you will see the source code. This one exactly the same. So I will execute the first one. I will start my server. And then with the path python.js. So it's running on my local host. Okay. So either you can send a request like using the CURL, the curl, or you can use the web page and then just like the local host 3000. And then what are we going to do? Just like compare, check, okay. So I need to connect up my server, and then I have an ID. ID can be anything. Let's say I have a 1, 2. Okay, so you see I will receive a return. It's 12. That's how the parameter passing using the ID it works. So if I return something else, let's say CSCI 422. So you change it. Then you may question, okay, let's say I want to get the user ID, but if I input a text like this, a string, so it's supposed it should be invalid. Then what should you do? If you recall the memory, like I talked about the JOI, so we will validate using the validation adding options to check, okay, is it integer or is a string or what's the length? So you can validate. So if once the user input the wrong one, then you can, okay, pop out or sending return a message, okay, incorrect data format. Then you can let the user or like as a developer to modify the content. Okay, let's say they input the maybe sometimes they do they want to pass the ID, but they just get a wrong parameter and pass it another variable. Then we have to validate those content, make sure. And when we are develop, don't think you are the one develop the end software. We call the client software. Maybe you're not developing the website, maybe other team is working on the website, and then you are working for the server side, the API server. And that's why we need to have a well documents showing, okay, so if we have the get method, so what's the ID? So you need to tell, okay, and then what's the return value, and then what are the possible errors you're going to sending up. Okay. So this one is the passing the parameter, and then the next one with the query. Okay. So why not this one? I've got a query parameter. Let me back. Let's say I call it do it this way, and then I will modify query. So why not I add one more? So this one will be the query. Okay, so I'm running on my server. So this time I modify. So 1, 2, 3, this is the same. And then I modify the path. Host 3000. Let me do it one more time. And then using user query. So right here, if you remember, we'll add the question mark. So if you're passing by the query, and let's say I have got the you can see the order. So I will let you to try one thing. If you will download it, I want to let you to do it. So let's say I put a name, and then equals to let's say yoga, and you see, well, now if I passing one, then I'm doing this. Then if you remember, how can we passing, let's say I have 2 items, then we need to put add, and then also we need to put let's say ages, maybe like this, and then just put it, let's say 10. So the current parameter we save name, and you got like this. So it's the return value. Then I have a question. So why not I give you a little bit time? So try to execute. The parameter JS, the one with the basic structure. So you need to install the Happy.js if you have a local, or install the Node.js or npm, then you can try to execute. And I have a question. Like let's say right here, I put in follow like name or address USC. So let's say I switch the order, change the order. If I put age equals to 10 and then and name equals to yoga like this, how do you think? Do things work? Will it work or it won't? So I want to let you to try and set it up within this moment. So I let you to do that, and also try to apply the ones called combining. So just like for the little bit left time, so let you to do that. So you can do it right now. And while you're doing that, I'll show you the result, also execute the combining one. So I will give you maybe around 10 minutes. If you have any question, then you can ask me. Okay. And tell me, how will it works? So can I switch the order, or like I also, right now you have the name or ages, or let's say if you want to add one more item, one more query parameter. Let's say I ask you, can you add one more, not only ages, name or maybe the phone number. Let's say phone. can you try to implement and add more? Then if you have like three parameters, then how can you modify the query path? And I give you around 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can try to set up this server and try to execute and test it. And tell me the result. And this one is the combine. So after you turn the result, then you will be able to, okay. Because for the get, I cannot, so ID, let me submit this, let me modify. Then and then I'll modify this one. So right now you can try to work on this. If you are make it pretty fast and then finish the one when you modify and able to run the server. And also you can receive the return message, and then can anybody can answer me if I change the order, can I receive the same result or not? I will get a return message. How do you think? Anybody able to get to this step? Okay, I will wait for a bit and then let you to try. Then I will wait for a few more minutes and then I will tell the result and also execute the new insert. So if you're following my step, or like if you're checking my video, then you can turn my video later, then you will do it later. You can try to add this one. So let's say I want to combining these two together and then put them, okay, one is from the parameter, one is from the query, then what the return value. And let's say if I want to add more, then how can I do that? So just kind of for the lab, then I can, okay, just kind of for bonus, I can activity for discussion. A we put source code right here. You can try to make a screenshot or like post it. And for this one, I will, if you answer post, I can be kind of like treat as a bonus. So you were able to do that. So you can use it. Just okay. So if you have time, you can feel free. So this one, I will check it later. So you can answer this question anytime, like just by the end of semester. So it can help you for just like a little bonus in case your grade something. Like I will base on this one. If you answer the question and make a screenshot, so what's the return value of this one? And you can change it. Yeah. So maybe probably depends on your input, past the value, your different result, but just post a screenshot with your return value. Yeah. So I will grade this part later. And then I can just wait for maybe 2 more minutes. Then I will tell you the result, show you the result, and execute that part. Okay. Yeah, back to the question I asked. Okay, let's say I switch their position. I swap it and then put the age first and put my name behind in the back. Then how it works. So you see, actually, it won't affect the result. So what is the reason? Because when we pass it through the query, so we will pass it using the age and name, right? So we will check the age and name and then match it. So we won't really affect the result. But if you put the name incorrect, let's say I put the typo, then you will see, okay, name is undefined and age will be 10. So if once the name, it doesn't match, then we'll just like cause the error. Then we need to check if sometimes when we have an undefined, or especially if you need to pass the data, let's say if you need to pass the data to database, like no matter MySQL or the MongoDB, if you have undefined, it will cause problem. So that's why we need to validate the content. Like if we match, or sometimes we will check, okay, is the name, it's like we put the name like this. So I want to make sure is it contain something. If no, then we will return a message. Let's say it works. If no, then we return a message. Let's say incorrect name like this. then we will know, okay, it's not working at all. And right here, I ask you a question. Okay, let's say because I give you exercise, so I will let you try by yourself. If I want to add more, then how can I make it? Okay, and you can try to, if I want to submit one more adding the phone, then how can you modify this source code? Okay, and because I let you do that, then I not really doing this one. So back to the beginning. Okay, let me the comment and remove it. Okay, so this one I will pass the original one, including, and then because I'm not passing the name, so okay, include details. Okay, so let's say I want to modify and restart my server. So I will start running my server right here. User query, okay. So we can validate and make sure it's working. Let's say I want to double check one more time users, and then with the ID 123, okay, it works. So this one I change it to a path called the get user ID, get user ID, and then pass the ID. So you will see I return 123 because I didn't pass the query parameter. So I put the question mark, and then I could say include details. And this one and putting true. So you will see once I pass with true, then it will include details. So you see a return message, it changed. Okay, so just like let you have a task to do, like you can post to the discussion if you modify and what's the new message, and then how can you change it. So actually same theory. So I give you the example is 2, then how can I change to 3? But sometimes when we posting or passing the values, let's say we have a lot. If we have so many things, so is it a good idea? Then we need to think, okay, is it a good idea passing so many things through the URL? Or why don't we post it through the body? Then you need to think about this. Okay. And if you are still working on it, then maybe you can pause, then I can keep on talking about the next one. You already know we can use the Joey, so I'm not really like go through the details how can we apply, because I gave you the source code and some sample code. So just help you to remember. So working everything together, the next part we need to validate. One thing is that we can use the schema. So let's say I have a user ID schema. So this schema will allow you to check, okay, let's say it's the alpha num, and then as a minimum or maximum, and is it required? If it's required, that means like we should make sure it's not null. If it's null, then we return it. And then we also can add the objects, so include the details will be called a JOI Boolean, so it's optional. We can have it or not. So once we modify, you will see the route will be get and user ID posted, and we add the option validate. The prompts will be ID user ID schema, and for the query we have the user query schema. And if we have the false action, so you see right here we have the false action will be request right here. So based on the one, we will return an error message. What's the details? Return code. So what we're going to do, we can like send a message, or like we can customize our own message. So this one is more like this, a custom message based on the return error message from our validation. Okay, so this one will pass it, and we'll know, okay, what's the problem, what's the issue. Okay, and next will be our handler. So handler is the same content. So you see we pass it, it's the same, we'll check it. So mainly it's integrated with the schema. I don't know how many of you already start to work on your project or think about how can you implement it. But it's important because we're learning cloud computing and security. So for security part is how to validate and checking the input. And here's a part of it. One thing is like validate the input, like it matches what we need. So it's part of it. When you still remember, we talk about the CIA, and then the next is like, how can we prevent? Sometimes when we try to check the input, if you know the attack, later we can find it is like when we have the, let's say, SQL attack, or we have the different XSS, or sometimes we have the DOS, or sometimes we need to define all these things, mainly for the SQL injection or the XSS. For all this will be like mainly attack on the server side about the like input all those variables. Then how can we prevent all those like potential risk? We call the threat, or the threat is like how they input but the threat is like how can is the environment how we create. So that's why we want to reduce the risk. That means like make sure the threat is high secure. Then we need to modify. Okay. And I'll just go through a PowerPoint quickly, and we will come back and go through all the code right here. And we try to validate after we do it, and then sometimes we will validate the password. So here's an example. Let's say the server authorize the strategy. So we use the simple and the basic one. So when we try to validate, we will pass the, let's say, we will pass the username, password. So let's say the username equals to user, password equals to hash. So this one is the like for the train parameter. So we try to match it. So it called the type and then the value. So if you see the triple triangle, and sometimes you see the double triangle equal sign or triple, that means like we need to match the value and also the type. So this one make sure okay is the string also is the same value. Because sometimes if you look at it, it maybe looks like the same, but they have a different data type. And right here, it will return its value, then will be save it, and then was conditional. So where is the user and put the username, we're going to return. So we return it. Okay. So there's one of the way we do the like for login. And put it a lot, we have one called the protect. So let's say we have the protect maybe used for like login, then we will check it. So some of the option is we will we talk about the login. Then after we log in, then we will need to do redirection or like change the path. Then we need to know what's the life cycle. So for the life cycle methods, right here we say it's provide a powerful way to manage the request response cycle. So by leveraging those like hook, then you can implement like login, validation, error handling, or other like essential features. And this flexibility is like one of the reasons why HappyJ is really popular. So we try to building the robust application and API. So this is a reason. For the more details of the life cycle, we have mainly we have several. So we call that on like pre-authorized on post. So before it and after it, and then pre-handler and on post. So you see before and then pre-respond too. So right here, just like about some basic information. So what's the pre-author? So it's like run before the authentication occurs. So it can be helping to perform tasks that need to happen before checking. So let's say we need to log in income request, performing a preliminary check, then we can do this. So like this, like we can pass a parameter on pre. And then we say, okay, right here we have method and post. Then when we return h.continuous, like based on how the header then we continue study. Maybe we will check something, the content or somehow. So before we go to authorization, okay. And on post, it will be executed immediately after the we authorize the action that we match. Then we allow to process the request of the authorizations check have been completed. Sometimes like we will set up a request content and logging the authentication status, let's say like this, we will save it. So after maybe you log in, then maybe you create a session ID. So when you have a session ID, what should you do? Or like if you fail, how will you do? So right here, I will capture here, okay, is it authorized? If it doesn't grant the authorization, then what should you do? Right here, we just have a console.log. So we try to log the message, like return the message and continues. But if we want to handle other events or like taking other actions, then also we can modify in this part. So what's the next cycle? And right here. And very similar idea or concept is like, okay, so we have one is called the authorize. Then how can we doing for the handler? So this one evoke like before the request handler is called. So it will be kind of like ideal place or like it's good action like to perform input validation and any like pre-processing need for your request. So you can think about before we pass it to handler, then we also you can try to like pre-process the data. Let's say we need to add certain content by ourselves. Sometimes we will save, let's say you have a key or like based on the session ID, you will save certain secret key or like maybe the user ID on the server side, so you don't have to like fetch it. Then you can just combine together. And then after you validate, then you can pass it to your main handler. Maybe connect to the MongoDB, add those like additional items. Then you can do it in this way. So right here, we just then modify, okay. And then once like you can see the one was the post right here. So the post will be running after the request handler has completed. So it will be helping us like to modify the response we need to do. So let's say if we want to modify the in the response, so just let's say we just like logging. So response equals this modified response and then response header. Then we will change the header value and then return it. So it's also possible. But if you want to know like why what is called header, then we need to know the HTTP, the headers, and then when we sending a package was included. But we are not yet covered right here. We didn't cover, so just have an idea. When we need to sending a package out or like certain content or JSON file, we need to include the header. So it's pretty common. And if you look at some source code, I tell you we need to modify the nginx or happy.js to get the like from the when you post it, we call that cost. That means we need to know checking, is it costing the site? Is it from the same origin like this? Okay. And one more is about the called the pre-response. So this one is like executing you see the handler like handler right now is like called a pre-response. So pre-response is like sending back to the client is the like execute before we send it back. Then how it allows us to alter the response or handle the error globally, so we can do it. So most of this, I will show you the code. So they are most of them we decay globally. How can we handle this? Let's say if we create our own, we will get the response from the request. And then when we get it, this one, let's say it's bomb, and then this one, I will get it from the response, and then save one is from the output. Let's say from the output, maybe I change it. Okay, we have the output payload with the message. So payload, if you remember the keyword payload, so it's the content I save it like in the body, but not from the URL if you look at the request Like if you look at get, we'll pass it through the URL. So it's part of the in your link. But if you are like using post, we'll save it in the payload. So in the body. And then we will try to respond as the error message will be return the output, the response message. Also, I will send it as a code. So I return, so I modify. Okay. So here is like based on the response. So you may use it or may not use it for your project. So right here. And for the complete example, you can register all these life cycle method, like we call the globally. So that means this can apply for all routes, or you can do it like locally, just like one specific route, then you can. So right here, if you want to do it, then you can, like for specific route, if you remember, we are using the options. So option will be still here, and then we will adding pre-representing all those methods like we can do. So right here, let's say I have pre-authorize and then assign the pre-auth, and then pre-handle and assign the pre-handler. And I will have a regular handler, request a header, and then just return the regular message. Okay, so right here. And so far, all this will be about the parameter. So you see, mainly we have the path parameter and then the curve parameter, and later we need to do the validation. So for the last part will be we need to know the life cycle method. So maybe you will confuse. So right now I will open the source code. The one first, like for validation, I gave you pretty a lot, so you can refer to this one, so it will be the same. So remember to include all this, like combine with your original code. So like put the required for the package, remember to install it, and then later you need to add a schema. So based on the type, so I have two schema. So one is for the parameter, one's for the query. So here's a two example you need to check. And required and optional, so it depends on how you declare required, that means you should have it. If it's optional, then you may not have it, like passing, okay, from the query, okay. And you will see the option right here. If you need to put, so this one can be option based. So let's say I want to check it, then you can do it in this way. Then how can I like expand and integrate? So right here, I will put it right here. Okay, and then just like this. And I also need to add the schema. So it can be globally, I will put it right here. And then I need to like include the jury, then you can put it right here. Okay, just like this. Then you can try to execute. And next, if you need to check the authorize, that's what we mentioned about. So you can add a strategy like on top, like server the authorize right here. And then we can set the path. Let me open different the life cycle. So when I talk about the life cycle, so everything like included right here. So we using the server SQL and then have a pre-authorize. Let's say we're right here, and then I will have the extend right here on pre-response, so I can create, and basically it will be like this. Let's say I stop the current server. Okay. Cycle. I do the same. Okay. So if I have something authorization, yes, and then I respond is boom, but because right now we have nothing. So if you don't have any issue, you should get the message, hello, I'm happy, just like this, okay? And then if you want to see, because I already made a competitive code, so you can download it and try to execute. So right here is one of the example, like try to validate the schema. So I would just like execute. I may not install the Joey. If you do or no, then you can just I can do it like npm install. So if you need, then you can install the Joey. Okay, I will install it and then I install. Example. No, completely. When I copy and paste, I maybe miss it. So when doing this, you're feel free to write now. So I give you the time to. So because that's what you need to do is for your project and then to validate and everything. So right now I want to let you to try to modify the parameter, and also like how can you pass it and how can you handle this one and with the validation. Maybe some of you already try to include all this validation and checking the values. If you're able to do that, then you can repeat this step. And then if you want to stay here and then work and show your result and let me know if you have any problem, then I will help you and assist you to fix it. And here's the time. So for you doing the just have a lab time for you to try to use all this code and then build a server and doing testing. If you are able to do that, and also you can try to answer the question, like make a screenshot and reply to this lab. So this one will be the bonus point for your final grade. So you can try. And I will hand over the time to you so you can just work on it. And also I need to check the one, maybe when I copy and paste, I make some mistake. So I need to fix it too. And do you have any question about the parameter, or like when you're working on your assignment, you submit it, and do you have any issue you would
Yeah, I
like
have
to
a
ask?
question here in a second.
Do you need to share the screen or somehow? I can stop it so you can, if you want to share, then I can let you do that. Okay.
I can't share while you're still.
You can let me check. I think I allow participant, and I think I also stop sharing, right? Could you get the access?
I still that I can't stream or I can't share screen until you st into your share screen.
Let me see. Oh, I think I stop share. Okay. You
All
need to
right.
take
Yeah,
it.
there we go.
Okay. Okay. Then look at the. Okay.
Okay, so I was trying to get the get item
Mm-hmm.
API to work. I was just trying to add the validation for it. So like just a basic ID schema validation.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. I was doing it like, yeah, I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I added this line right here.
Okay. Schema length. Okay. It's a hack.
Um,
Okay.
and then and then I added the validation stuff, and I added the return, but whenever I go to like a valid thing, it just gives me the error.
Mm-hmm. Let
Like
me
I
look.
I grabbed a ID directly from here and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, item schema. Okay.
I tried doing to see if it would show me like the error, but
Mm-hmm.
it
You
was
need to save it and then restart the server.
yeah.
Okay.
So I wrote it
Mm-hmm.
and then I stopped the server and then I just do that again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, same thing. And it doesn't even recognize the
The return message. They passing
uh,
parameter. Okay.
right.
Let me see your line error message. Here's a tricky thing. If you want to pass the parameter, can you scroll down to your scroll? Okay. When you need to pass it as a parameter, so you cannot use the quotation, the one using next to the enter button, but you need to using the one below the escape, the one the like slightly not the strict one. So you need to put the one on the left of the number one. So you should change the quotation for the text.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to modify. Go to
Why
the
can't I?
error message.
Yeah, hold on.
Mhm.
I don't do I not have this key or something?
And yeah, you do. Yeah. So you need to put in like the shape, the one is on the top.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, yeah. So you need to change the one in the front and the back. Yeah, both. And then
I have a like 60% keyboard, so it's kind of annoying to do this.
okay.
Okay, there we go.
And then error catch.
And do these need to be like that too? Or I guess not since they're just,
It depends on like if you want to pass the parameter, then like as an input, then you better maybe you need to handle it in this way. And let's see. Yeah, as well I remember because the syntax it should change. So we need to pass it. Or if you want to do sometimes the message, you can do one more thing, but if not taking, you can do the concatenation. Sometimes because I mix up the syntax too. So one thing is that you can use the assign to concatenate the message. So here's the Mongo client object ID is not a constructor. Okay, this one is the object ID, so it's not a constructor. So I need to check your schema because it jumps too quick. Let me see. It's the new, okay, you try to find one, the new MongoDB object ID.
yeah.
Collection. Suppose when you try to match the ID, you can let me try to, can you check the like the Mongo ID how to find one syntax? Do you know the syntax? Well, I'm not yet go through the Mongo scene like MongoDB last time I mentioned about like finding inside the basic one, but I didn't talk about the find one syntax to match it. But let me get the example for the, give me a second. James, okay. 1 second. So text message. Let's say like this, I just give some example. So if you want to match it, suppose like your ID is the title, and then you just need to pass your the ID, but you do not need to create a new object ID. So you try to remove it and pass it because when you save it, the ID just direct. So and yeah, you can just remove the object ID, pass the ID.
Okay, so how would I do that?
You can just remove all those things and then just keep the ID and that's it. Like you remove a new client, yeah, you remove and then just put the ID.
just like this?
Yes. And then save.
And then restart the server?
Yes, restart. For his, we always need to restart the server and check. And then right now we don't have this item. Let's see. Okay, then we need to check the, sometimes we cannot match with the IDE. Could you using the why not using the ID? Let me see. Because sometimes when we try to match the ID, not the same. Find one I remember you can it would be the content. Can you change it to the content instead of the ID? Let's say you have the name and change it.
Like that?
No, I mean right now we are trying passing the parameter using the ID, right?
Right.
And yeah, because I remember the one,
So up here?
yes, yeah, just like create a new one, just like instead of the ID, you can try to with the something, let's say the name, what's the parameter you have, the variables you store in the,
Oh, I see what you mean.
yeah.
Okay.
Or you can copy, create a new one, and then you can,
So
yeah.
here I'll do this. I've got
Well, for the MongoDB, when we need to find one, let me try to get the Because this one it goes what you're asking I'm not yet covered, so I will have to do it. No, or you can wait for. If you want to, okay, I found one. Okay, let me show you. There you try to use the right here. If you want to use the ID, then you can use this one.
Okay, did you put that in the chat?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So what you can do in this way. You can try either way. One is called the find by ID, or find one using the ID. Let me post it. There's the text message. Okay. Or you can use this one find by the.
Okay.
Okay. So either way will be fine. So because for the MongoDB they have one option is like search, because ID is a tricky because the ID you are using right now is more likely is the index, is the like for the itself. It didn't really contain for the kind of field or attributes for your data.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not same as your parameter. So we need to using a different way, is either passing by the variables or using their own function called the find by ID. So if you want to check the details, then you can check. And let me see what did you implement. Okay. If you need to use the object ID, I missed one thing. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Sorry. Because I missed one thing is like if you want to use the object ID, also you need to add the one is from the request from the MongoDB object ID. So you need to, let's say, sometimes you need to request from it. But for sure, but this part you can use like let's say we can call it like using let, okay, or like you can use the constant, okay, something like this. But you need to if you want to use the object ID, you need to import it. But you can try it later. And sometimes when you request it, it will be the header, but not the top, not inside the handler. Like when you try to put a code, where you try to using new MongoDB, we want to put it inside your, so like you are not putting right here, but on the top of it. Like
okay.
Yeah. But if you want to try, you can try to check the function. As what I remember, you can try to use the find by ID. This one. You can go
Okay, I'll try that.
down. Yeah, so you can do it. So it will be faster than request it. So you can modify your source code. And instead of using collection, then use the find by ID. So right now you see the function is called find one, right? No. Replace the find one to find by ID.
Uh,
The
replace
function
what?
is called await collection dot find
Yeah.
one, right? So we place the find one function to
Oh, okay.
find by ID. So this one is Here's the tricky because the ID, as what I say, because it's special for the MongoDB. It's like when you insert it, it comes with the ID. So you just need to put ID is fine. Your
Right.
ID, you don't have to pass the parameter. If you look at the example, so it will be just the ID. You with the
So I
parameter.
so I can remove this line right here.
You need to keep it because it's the ID you need to use.
Oh,
And then
okay.
for the find by ID, you do not need to use the curly bracket. You just need to pass the ID and that's it. Just
So I get rid of this. Oh,
yes, yep. Get rid of those slide parameter. Okay, save it and then respond. Okay, try to execute. And okay, unluckily it doesn't come with the function. Okay, then probably it may fade out by itself. Let me see. If I'm one, let me see. If you don't have it, then I need to try to use. If you don't have this one, then I will, let me see. Or how about just fun? Okay, try one more is about just not fun, using fun and then just put the ID. Yes. Okay. And parameter. If no, then I need to prepare for this one and tell you using the ID. Okay, so
okay.
it's not getting, so far it's not working either. Okay. Maybe you can spend some time to look at it, and also I will prepare this part and show.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a slightly tricky for the ID because you need to either request from the MongoDB from the client to get the
Right.
ID. Because for this ID is not directly the variable what we create. So we cannot, because when we try to insert, mainly it's the title, author, and the year published, right? So you can test with
Right.
these three items.
Okay, I can try that.
Yeah, you can try either these three variables, but here's the tricky thing is the ID. Also, I think when you try to pass it, I remember, hold on. I remember we need to pass it with the, did you add the quotation to when we pass the ID? I remember sometimes the syntax it affects.
When we
For the
pass the
ID,
ID,
like you're
we're
like the quotation hyphen because it's the JSON
right
format.
here.
No. Go down to the parameter find one. I want to see one more things because sometimes I remember the syntax. It doesn't. Where is it? Get ID parameter ID. So you can stay with the find one. Go back to your items array collection. So use the find one.
Okay.
Okay, find one again, and then with the curly bracket, and then okay, curly bracket, and then what you need to do with the quotation underscore ID. Double quotation is better. Just use the, sometimes we use the double quote.
Oh, just this?
Yes, double quote and then underscore and then explanation. Yes, and then pass the ID. I want to see. Okay.
Oh,
I'm not the equal sign, but
oh,
the
just the,
yes, because when we pass as an object.
okay, so just like this?
No, the you can use, let me see, refer to this one, you can use the, when we pass the value. So this one you're using ID, right? So ID will be yours parameter like this.
Okay, right.
Yes, and try again. So if no, then I need to check the modify the latest syntax. Okay, still not able to get it. Then I need to get another one. So that
Okay.
means we cannot get the ID directly by this method.
Okay. Sounds
Okay,
good.
yeah. Yeah. So but you can try to test with your own variable, like instead of the ID, you can try to I want to see if you are working, because also I need to check your other code. I want to make sure it's working right.
Right.
Also, if you change the ID to, let's say, you have the name, right, or year published, could you change that one to, let's say, the
Like if
title?
I
Yeah, change it to title
let's see.
or author. Okay, you can use the author.
I need to make this get author, right?
Yes, or you can just replace the item and then replace the ID. You can just change the ID underscore ID to author,
Yes.
because this one just for testing. So um, you don't need the underscore.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. And match it, and then you just keep the ID.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see the structure, because we pass it
Right.
to the ID, and then ID pass to author, and then let's see. I want to see your server and connection with the MongoDB.
Okay. And then
Yeah, and then change the name. Okay, so that means for the request, let's see, double quotation. I want to see. You may remove the, for the author. Let's see if you remove the double quotation.
just like this?
Yes, yeah. I wanted to check the syntax sometimes. But I forgot this one, so I need to double check.
Yeah, it's still nothing.
Okay, no, then maybe there's some issue. If you want my, okay, because your structure is pretty big, so let me see. Let me see. Parameter ID, back request, invalid request input. Always try to do one thing. So let's say always with the step one, I want to see the passing value. So with the testing, also yeah, also you have the space too. Okay, so when you do the try, so do one thing is like return it, the ID, return it as a message, like I'm not inside the if condition, but sometimes as a first step when we try to test our API server, like if once you're able to get a request from the server, then I will going to return it back to my
Okay.
client. Okay, so let's say why not I keep the ID and then I just return the ID back. Be careful the quotation.
All right.
One was the dollar sign for the parameter.
All right.
Yep. Okay, it looks like fine. Okay. And passing in. No. Yeah. Hold on. Okay.
Okay, then they give us
Okay, so the ID. Okay, so it's the same. It's the ID. It's weird. When you passing get item validate is a ID schema. Oh, okay, then maybe yours is weird. So suppose it should be author, but why is Okay, you're passing using the ID. Okay.
Yeah, you do want to change this back to author?
That means your ID is correct. Let me see. Because maybe the MongoDB, for the the funding option maybe sometimes maybe not the same. So, or you can try to put it back and put the fund many. Let me quickly check the latest syntax. Maybe the syntax not same one doing. So let me see. Let me check the items. Let me go to MongoDB official website. Let me check. So you can using the find one and then bring some. Let me check. Okay, they do have some encryption with it, and then find one parameter, bring some, and then with the object ID new. Okay. I'm not sure if you have installed this one, and then you can replace it find one by this function.
Replace it with what?
Get item by user function. Okay. You may try to use this one as the last name. Check. Okay. You may replace this one with the whole function.
Which one?
The one I sent it to your text message. Find one with the ID. So you need to one is find one and then with the quotation, curly bracket, and then double quote, then underscore ID. Try to use it the new because the object ID sometimes it cannot directly recognize. Let's see if you have the package, you have the called the Bison. You need to add the Bison object ID.
The which one? JSON?
B.
B?
Yeah, the capital Bison. The one I send you to the test.
Capital.
This one. You check the from
Where
the
is it?
text. Do you see my text?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see it pop up. Okay, there it
Okay.
is.
Yeah, try this one.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know why I couldn't see that. All right.
okay. Because all this is try to because it's slightly tricky for the that's why I say because the object ID is not directly is the code. So we need to try to encrypt it by different way.
What's
So
BSON? Is it like binary JSON?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Um,
I need to check the document because maybe the version we are using, maybe they're not taking this method. Okay, so it's not yet. So you don't have this one on your package, then we need to request it. Then okay, if you couldn't get the ID, you can work on other attributes first,
okay.
and you can try the one I like. As mentioned, like using the most of the time using the object ID. That one should be the basic.
Yeah,
I will later. I will prepare the maybe coming right now with the parameter. Then next one will be connecting with the MongoDB, like all these like possible functions, like details function. How can we fetch the data? So
right.
you should able to know that how can you do that. But that one also I need to check the latest one because the sometimes the syntax is not the same or like
Okay,
what new features. So because maybe the one I'm using long time ago and right now they changed something. So they
right.
integrate or modify or something fades out. So I will prepare a lecture like teaching how can you use the MongoDB query. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah. You
All
can
right.
do it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Professor.
Okay. No problem.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye.